Yeah, buddy, this is where you get all the new fantasy news. Hey, get your lineups ready for this week. I know if you already had the Bears and Washington Commanders, a little bit too late, but you know, it is what it is. You'll be all right. Oh, man, hey, and we're watching the game as it's going on with this podcast. You know, the Bears blowing that back out. You know, whoever is playing against DJ Moore, sorry, next week.
Yeah,
That's all I can say to you right here, man. Yeah, it's a bad day. It's okay though. It happens. 137 yards in the first quarter, basically, and 2 touchdowns. Jesus.
Yeah. And by all they get the rest of the night, they're gonna shut that down now. But
yeah, they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna be Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson running the rest of the way. All right.
Yeah, don't pull the Falcons.
Oh man,
that's the same as that score.
Hey, I hope so because I need freaking I need Scary Terry to show up. Yeah, I need to show him up. Yeah, I'm starting him. I need him to show up.
Yeah, I started my other league, so yeah, and I put him over CD Lamb, so I don't know what I was thinking. So
oh god. Marque, come on, man.
Man, CD Lamb ain't done nothing. He had one good game last week.
So. Oh man, I don't know, man.
I mean, I can still start CD Lamb. I mean, he ain't played.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's get on with the fantasy news. All right. So, in Raiders land, Jimmy G, who was out with a concussion, was limited during practice today. So, I mean, regarding Josh Jacobs, is Aidan O'Connell better than Jimmy G for Josh Jacobs' fantasy production? I mean, he had his highest fantasy points this season with 17 attempts for 58 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 8 receptions for 81 yards. And that all equaled out to 27.9 fantasy points in PPR, man. I loved it. It was great to finally see Josh Jacobs back. So, what do you think?
I don't think it really matters, honestly. I think he just finally catching up. That's all. We had to find. He just need to get that one game that way, so they know he still can do it. So now he's been good from here on out.
Maybe he had to get his legs in. You know, he didn't have that preseason. You know.
Yeah.
I guess. What do you think, Bob?
That's what I think.
Aidan O'Connell, this guy, I believe he was drafted in around the 4th round by the Raiders. I believe he's out of Purdue. This guy had a pretty good career as a college quarterback, to be completely honest with you. So, you know, I kind of understand what the Raiders were thinking here. But as far as in relation to Josh Jacobs, I still think Josh Jacobs is going to do what he does. I don't think, you know, Jimmy G and Aidan O'Connell, you know, they're pretty much in the same boat, in my opinion. So I think that Josh Jacobs, you know, he held out the whole season, the whole offseason. He held out. You know, we really didn't know he was going to play until game 1. So I think that the first few games he was getting rust out. You know, he was getting rust out because he just wasn't doing anything. So that's just kind of what I feel was going on.
Well, my thing is, it's like, who suffered from that? And I can tell you off the bat, it was Jacoby Myers, you know, that's who suffered because Josh Jacobs got all those receptions. So is Jacoby Myers going to even be fantasy relevant if they stick to the script of Josh Jacobs getting as many passes as he did, because he was getting the short passes, which made sense because Aidan O'Connell was going with the safety valve. So
I think he'll still be relevant. I think he'll still be relevant. So I mean, he still got to throw it to. Still got to throw it down the field, and he's not going to throw it to, you know, your boy the whole time. So
true that.
He's seen and he's seen the light Myers too. So
yeah, it didn't help that, you know, they're playing the Chargers, who, you know, they allow like 99 rushing yards per game to running backs, and 37 passing yards to running backs, which is 13th worst in the league. So that didn't help at all. But, you know, this week they actually have, you know, the Green Bay Packers, which we will talk later on because that's going to be the Monday night game we're going to talk about. All right, let's continue on. So T. Higgins, the Cincinnati, you know, I will use a word, but, you know, whatever. Starts with a B. I'm just not going to say it. And also ends with S. Did not practice for the second straight day. It's Tyler Boyd, valuable. Can't even get the words out. Is he a viable flex option if Higgins is out this week?
No way, man. No way. No way. There's no way. This is all I'm gonna say. Like, if you have had Tyler Boyd over the last 2 years and you've seen what he has done, do not subject yourself to this pain of thinking that this is an opportunity when it's really not. Okay, Tyler Boyd is a broken fantasy player. He's broken. Okay, he's not going to give you what you think he can give you. Okay, and don't even get me started on the Bengals themselves, because they're not playing well. They're not putting points on the board. So even if they were putting points on the board, Tyler Boyd still wouldn't do anything.
Bro, I just think
still wouldn't do anything. So
I think
no,
Burrow just needs to sit out until his bye week because he ain't right. He just needs to heal up. But
at this point,
yeah, you might as well just let the backup come in. Y'all is just straight hot trash. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, let's get on to the more relevant news. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson hamstring and Aaron Jones a hamstring were both limited today. Additionally, Luke Musgrave, who's the tight end, had a concussion, but he practiced in full. So, is this another Romeo Doubs week if Christian Watson is not fully healthy?
I think it's a Romeo Doubs week regardless if he's healthy.
Because
I mean, Watson ain't doing anything. Even when he came to play last week, he didn't do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Doubs is him. I mean, but honestly, they kind of got motorboated last week. You know, that was
they did, and they gonna bounce back.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right. But is Luke Musgrave, because we know we love tight ends here at the Fantasy Cookout, is he a startable tight end versus the Raiders?
I ain't never heard that name till you said it. I ain't heard the name till you said it.
He's a rookie. I didn't know Robert Tonyan played for the Bears until he started taking Cole Kmet's targets. I was like, get off the fucking field. Anyway, this is what happens when you're in the game watching it. But yeah, it's damn Marque. Is he a startable tight end versus a Raiders DST who allow 15 fantasy points per game to tight ends?
How many teams are in the NFL? 32?
Yeah.
Have you gone through all 32 options?
God.
I'll start hating Hurst over that guy.
Would you start Fort Knox over him too, Marque?
I'll start Dawson Knox. At least I know he got a history.
Come on, Scary Terry. Who got
Logan
it?
Thomas, touchdown.
Oh, God.
You failed, you big dummy.
Watching the game live while doing this podcast.
And the comeback begins.
Yep. All right. Next topic. All right. Saints quarterback Derek Carr's shoulder was limited in practice today. So, question is, does Michael Thomas and Chris Olave need Derek Carr healthy in order to have a good fantasy week versus the Pats DST? Because Jameis Winston is hot garbage. He threw one attempt and it was 4 interception.
I mean, we talked about this last week, man. We talked about this last week, and we were like, look, man, the Saints, they're really the Aints right now. Like, to be completely honest with you.
Damn.
Because you can't do anything offensively. It's trash. Yep. Look, New England has they do actually have a decent defense. It is decent, you know. So, you know, right now this game is a pick 'em. So Vegas has this, you know, split right down the middle. They don't know. The reason why they don't know is because both of these teams don't have offenses really, but they have solid defenses. So, I mean, look, man, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, if you have those guys on your team, you're probably so mad right now because you're just like, man, I could have got anybody. But because of my inadequacy at the quarterback position, I'm suffering.
Hey, Marque, tell me about your man's Matt Jones, man. He about to ride that oak for Bailey Zappi. He about to get zapped.
He's struggling, man.
It's the zap.
No doubt. He's struggling, man.
And with the Saints too, what messes you up even more is the tight end, right? The tight end / QB, right? I can't even think of his name now.
You talking about damn.
I mean,
I know
the
you're
dude.
talking about.
Every single Taysom Hill, that's his name, Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Every single time you see him at the quarterback position, that's one less reception opportunity. That's one less every time he's back there in shotgun. That's one less reception opportunity. So
or running
away,
attempt. Yeah,
exactly. So you're taking if you just on a game by game basis, you're taking away a lot of opportunities. So yeah, it's not good. It's just not good.
Well, I mean, one Saint came out, Mr. Alvin Kamara, he finally got off his got out of the doghouse. And is he truly a buy now candidate with his impressive first game? He knocked the dust off. And the Bucks are a decent DST. And the DST allows 17.5 fantasy points to running back. That's about 91 rushing yards per game. 13th best. Do you think he's a buy now candidate? Because against the Bucks, he had 11 attempts, 51 rushing yards, 13 receptions, 33 yards for 21.4 fantasy points. I mean, that's a pretty nice debut after being, not doing anything for real for a while.
Hey, if you need a running back, take him. We already know how.
Would you trade for him? Would you trade for him?
I don't know. It depends. It depends on my situation, my team. There's plenty of receivers out there to choose from. So if you can give up one of maybe your second tier receivers for him, if you really need a running back, I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
What level would you trade? Like let's see, Dameon Pierce for Alvin Kamara.
Probably, yeah. Probably. Okay. I mean, if it was on looking at my team, you'd trade like a Myers, maybe.
Would you trade Miles Sanders? I just stop. I was stop.
You speak of Miles Sanders. Worst thing Miles Sanders could ever done was left Philly.
Oh, I mean, what Miles Sanders?
I know he went for the check. He went for the bread.
Yeah. You know what Miles Sanders' ranking is amongst running backs right now?
What's that?
Let's see. Let me give you. He is 24th in PPR right now in fantasy point production. 24th amongst running backs. Ahead of him is Ramondre Stevenson, and then ahead of him was Khalil Herbert. But behind him is Jaylen Warren, who's a backup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then Dameon Pierce is behind Jaylen Warren. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, unfortunately, because
they save him for later on.
I know they save him for the back end. I'm highly convinced they're just gonna run David Montgomery to the ground.
Yeah, if you got Gibbs, he's gonna be good about week 10.
Yeah, so. Just wait and sit. Just hey, my favorite thing to say, and it's gonna give me the delay, I'm pretty sure. But Gibbs is one of those guys you gotta sit. He's not one of those rookie running backs like what's his name, Bijan, that right. Atlanta's just running them down to the ground. It is what it is though. And
wake up!
It's coming. Hey.
Wake up out of your sleep. Wake.
I need that wake up like Davon A-Chain. I need that one. I need that kind of wake up. It's coming though. It's coming. All right. Speaking of Dameon Pierce, he actually practiced, this in full today. He had a knee injury. So can Dameon Pierce be trusted as a low-end RB2, high-end flex option where he is only averaging 9.7 fantasy points per game, which is the number 26 running back in fantasy production?
No.
Oh, damn.
No.
Oh, my God.
Now that's a knee injury, my boy. I'm sorry.
And he actually has a tough matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, DST. Surprise.
I got decent defense, man.
I know. They're the fourth best DST against running backs, allowing only 13.5 fantasy points per game, 100.3 rushing yards per game, and only 2.7 passing yards to running back.
They just can't score in a whorehouse. They can't do anything.
That's because Desmond Ritter. Look, throw to Jonnu. Jonnu, keep throwing to Jonnu. That's all I gotta say. So, what do you think, Vaughn? No, can you trust him? Would you start him?
You can't trust him. I'm gonna tell you that. You definitely can't trust him. If you've got this guy on your team, this is another one of those guys. You're killing yourself right now. If you have this guy on your team, like just being completely honest.
Mm-hmm. You like this?
This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Yep, that's like having Dameon Pierce on your roster right now. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, but that's all we got for the fantasy update this week. Let's cue the outro. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode of Fantasy Update. Catch us every week as we give you all the news regarding NFL and your fantasy league.